So let's go ahead and start with Luciana.
Thank you, Ronnie. Hi, everyone. I'm Luciana. I'm an international student here at LMU. I'm currently in my second year of the MBA program, and I'm about to finish it, which is a mixed feelings because I really enjoyed the program. So, but I'm happy to graduate, of course. I'm an international student, as I said, from Brazil. And any questions you have to me, please feel free to ask. Thank you, Ronnie.
All right, Christoph, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
1 second, have to unmute myself. Yeah, welcome everyone. It's nice seeing you all virtually here in this Zoom room. So I'm also a graduate student. I'm from Germany, and I'm also in the MBA program. That's how I also met Lou. It's a pleasure working together with Lou in the MBA program. But also I'm doing systems engineering as my secondary master's degree. And I'm finishing both up this year. So it's kind of like the same mixed feelings as Lou said. Last semester, wrapping things up, heading into a career, hopefully. But it's been great. And I'm like really happy to share my experiences we had so far here in the program. And if you have anything science related for like the College of Science and Engineering, I would be the best address to ask questions regarding that.
Thank you, Chris. And finally, Denise, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. I'm Denise. I am currently a second-year graduate student taking up clinical mental health counseling. I am a Filipina. I am an international student, obviously. And then I also work at the graduate admission as the graduate assistant. So any counseling related questions or graduate admission related questions, I can answer it for you. So yeah. Happy to be here.
Thank you. And then thank you again to our participants. Again, just to remind you all, if you have any questions along the way, please put them in the chat and we'd be happy to answer any of your questions. But for our first question, I'll go ahead and start off with an easy one to warm our panelists up. So first of all, why did you choose LMU for your graduate studies? And let's go with Chris. Do you want to answer first?
Sure, I can go first, no problem at all. So for me personally, so I had a look at a lot of different universities all across the US, but LMU was just a perfect fit in like 3 different dimensions that I was like focusing on. So first of all, the program was great. I'm really happy with the academic side of it, having a double degree and moving forward. Secondly, it's just really nice being in LA, coming from Germany where it's like really cold, rainy for like 5 to 6 months every year. It's just a pleasure being here in the warmth and like having all these like nice options, spending time outdoors, spending time on the beach, but also just drive 3 hours to the east and hop into the mountains. So that's great. And lastly, so I came here as a student athlete. So sports wise, it was also a great fit. And that's why I chose LMU in the first place. And ever since I came here, I didn't regret any of it. So all those 3 dimensions turned out to be great.
Thank you for that answer, Chris. Denise, would you like to chime in?
Sure. Well, for me, I did my research and I'm taking counseling, and so I researched on the different like professors in the US, and I've heard a lot of great things about Dr. Parham and also Dr. Stephanie Bailey, and so that was really what draw me into the program and to LMU in general, and also what Chris just said, like being in LA is so much nicer than being in a different state. And also I'm an equatorial babe, so I need the sun. So yeah, I'm glad. I think this is the best decision I've ever made.
Yeah, definitely. I think the location has a lot to do with it, especially since we're on the west side of LA. But Luciana, would you like to chime in as well?
Yeah, sure. So of course, I agree with them about LA. But for me, it was I moved to LA with my family. I'm from Brazil, but I used to live in the UK. I lived in the UK before moving here to LA for 3 years, and then I decided that it was time for me to have my MBA and pursue my degree. And then once I knew it was LA, I started looking for universities around LA area, and LMU for sure was the one that caught my attention. And mostly because I got a sense of community from LMU that I didn't get from the other universities that I applied to. Also, I think the application process was simple and efficient, which is a big part of. It was a big part of my decision because it can be very overwhelming to go through all this application process with different universities. And also some researches regarding the size of the class, you know, how close we can be of our professors. So we have in the MBA program, for example, we won't have more than 25 people in the class, which is something that I value a lot, because you can ask questions whenever you want, and you can also have a close relationship with your professors. Plus, we got to become really good friends in our group. So, for example, Chris and I, we became really good friends, and for sure, this is something we are gonna take for life, you know. So yeah, those were my main reasons, and I'm so glad I made this choice too.
Thank you, Luciana. And Luciana started touching on it already. We really value and take pride in our classroom dynamics here at LMU. And I was just wondering if you go into that a little bit more. You touched on the engagement with your professors. How much do you get to work with your professors? Do you view it as a collaborative environment with your peers? What's that classroom dynamic really like? And it's great because we have a few different colleges represented here too, so you can hear from each one. Luciana, if you want to talk about the College of Business Administration.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, as I said, we in the MBA program, we don't have we don't have more than 25 people in the class. So this gives you a chance whenever you have a question, just raise your hand, and your professor is gonna just interact with you. They also are available for extra hours. Like they have off-C hours that we can go to their room, to their office, and talk to them regarding any questions about any assignment, any project, or even like professional advice and so on. And if you aren't available to come to campus, they also make themselves available via Zoom. So, and you can send emails, and they will respond to you like very quickly. And this is something that it really helps us throughout the program. The classroom dynamics with our peers are very good. I don't think they're this highly competitive environment. Of course, as an MBA program, you want to be like the best that you can, but I don't feel like we have this competitive feeling in a negative way. So this is also something that if you're looking for something like that, you're in the right place.
Great, thank you, Luciana. And Chris, would you like to chime in a little bit about the classroom dynamic?
Sure, definitely. I'm also in the MBA program, so I can definitely attest to all of what Lou said. It's really great being there, and some of my MBA classmates really turned out to be one of my best friends here in LA now, which is great. Maybe touching more base on like the science side. And by the way, I'm super interested in everyone who's listening, which programs you're interested in. So feel free to just drop it in the chat so we kind of like know maybe like what we can talk some more about those programs you are interested in. But from the science side, I really like that most of the professors have a lot of industry experience. So I'm doing systems engineering, and a lot of them had some great opportunities to work for NASA or for Boeing or for all of these like cool space programs, which is pretty prestigious. And also one of my professors last semester, it was a cybersecurity class, and he was actually like in a head of a big consulting firm that did cybersecurity, and it was super interesting to see those like live or like close-up stories from real industry problems instead of professors that just deal with like academia and research all the time. It's a little bit of a different perspective, and I feel like super valuable. But LMU has a good mix of both. So there's professors that did a great research in the past and us like actually researching for LMU. So I feel a mix is pretty cool, and it gives you a lot of exposure to different things all across what you want to do. If you want to head into like more research-based stuff yourself, or you want to use your like master's knowledge to dive in more into like the industry and stuff. And also those professors are really good connectors. They really help you out finding jobs, help finding contacts to talk to, engaging with you and kind of like consulting you on the way you want to go with your further career. And I really appreciate that, especially like since we all are in a graduate program and we might know a little bit better than most of the undergrad students where we want to head in the near future. So this is really valuable.
Thank you for that, Chris. Denise?
Yes. Oh God, I can't emphasize enough how personable and just amazing my professors are. They are so willing to give me feedback in every paper or requirement that I send them, and they are just so willing to be a mentor in such a different way that like it's very refreshing. Like I can just send them an email and I can hear back from them in within the day or sometimes just in a day or two. So yeah, if I can say so myself, I feel like I have a personal relationship with every professor that I've had. And so that really made a difference in this journey as a graduate student. In terms of like the class dynamics and culture, I have a very diverse group of friends, and it's also like a small class size. We don't have cohorts for counseling, for clinical mental health counseling, but I see the same people in a classroom. Like at the most we have like 15 to 20, but usually it's just a small class, like around 8, especially for very specific core subjects like group counseling or culturally responsive counseling. So those are very like intimate, and you can really share your experiences inside the class, and with that confidence that it won't, it would be confidential all throughout the class. So yeah, that's my experience.
Thank you. And all three of you have kind of mentioned that you were either previously or currently graduate assistants on campus. I know some of you have internship experience as well. Chris, for example, I'll put you on the spot. I know you have a really great internship this semester. If you all can talk about your on-campus opportunities as well as your internship opportunities that you've had as an international student, that would, I think, would be really helpful for our prospective students to know as well. Chris, would you like to start it off?
Sure, of course, I can go first. So yeah, as Lou said, as Ronnie said, sorry for that. I used to be a grad assistant for the International Admissions Office, which is a great opportunity. As you might know, it's a little bit challenging for international students to come here and having the ambition to like proceed in their studies, but also work. So we're like a little bit more limited than like citizens, for, like in that regard, obviously. So being a grad assistant is a great way to just get some work in, get some extra money in, but also kind of like network on campus and get more knowledgeable about like a lot of different things that you might need for yourself. For example, by doing that job, I learned a lot about the whole process of now applying for the OPT and like all the work authorization stuff after that, or some like simple stuff, who to reach out to if I have any issues with my taxes and all of these things. So that's pretty valuable. But in addition to that, we are allowed to do internships, which is a great opportunity to get some like industry exposure. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm on an internship contract for 20 hours a week. That's the max you can do within the semester. But I think if I'm right, in the summer break you can work up to 40 hours, which is pretty decent. So you can get some work in while technically being on a student visa and technically being a full-time student as well. And I used that opportunity to do my capstone project for the systems engineering degree to team up with a company. So kind of like combining both sides, progressing or like finishing up my degree in systems engineering and using that industry work authorization through that internship to get that all together. So there's plenty of great options to also get some work in and not just like sit at home and lingering about homework and stuff all day.
Thank you, Chris. Luciana, would you like to go next?
Yeah, of course. Thanks, Brittany. So yeah, I'm a graduate assistant at the international admissions team. My situation now is kind of different because I have a 8-year-month baby. So that's the reason I'm not currently working outside off campus, because as Chris mentioned, we are allowed as international students to apply for internships here after we have completed 1 year of school. So I think both on campus and off campus opportunities are great. On campus, as Chris mentioned, I think it's a great option for us because we can work and we have a lot of flexibility to complete our program, because we are students first. So if you get a graduate assistant position on campus, you will have plenty of support to complete all your activities for your program. And but it's also a great way to work and to make connections if you're interested in an on-campus job. And in terms of getting internships and getting jobs too, LMU offers great resources for us. So they offer the CPD, which the forgot what this stands for.
The Career and Professional Development Center.
Career and Professional Development Center. So we have advisors there to help us and support us to on our career. There is a let's say like an internal LinkedIn where all job posts are, and we can find internships and jobs like in a variety of industries. And we are also reached out by recruiters through this. So career-wise, it's great, and there are plenty of opportunities both on campus and off campus.
Thank you, Luciana. And Denise, do you have any experience both on your on-campus position and maybe with the Career and Professional Development Office, and how that's going to help you support, or how that's going to support you with your future goals?
Yeah, sure. So I am currently a GA at graduate admission. And my experience has been like phenomenal the past year. I am also working like 20 hours a week, just like Lou and Chris. And then also I am also applying for my internship for next academic year. Actually, just now I just got an email. Sorry, this is very timely. I just got an email saying that I got accepted for my fieldwork placement. Anyway, I'm so happy. Oh yeah. Wait, hold on. I have big emotions right now. But yeah, everything has been very smooth sailing. I have more opportunities on campus. I've been working with Emily and Leticia at graduate admission. And if ever you need help with any professional side or any internships in the future, or any placements, yeah, like CPD can work with you. They have like an office hours every Monday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. If you ever have questions about like OPT or CPT, and also if you need help with your resume or just one-on-one coaching, like they are a great resource. So yeah.
Thank you, and congratulations about your fieldwork placement.
Thank
And
you.
Of course. And just like they were saying, our career and professional development office is such a great resource on campus. Even better, it has different advisors depending on which college you're in. So College of Business Administration has specific advisors, our Seaver College of Science Engineering. And the idea with that is that the advisors will become type of experts in their different fields of helping students achieve their goals after graduation. And before I ask my last question to our panelists, I did want to make sure that none of our prospective students in the audience have specific questions for any of our panelists as well. If you do, please feel free to turn your mic on, or you can write your question in the chat as well. Again, we have Chris, Luciana, and Denise. They're all really knowledgeable in their experience. All right.
And not only about the school and all like the official stuff, you can ask us anything, even like living in LA and like how that goes. Just to let you know.
Yeah, Chris, that's actually a great question to ask. So do you want to answer that one? What's it like living in Los Angeles?
Well, it's pretty good. It's pretty fun. A lot of opportunities. Actually quite fun story. I just had some friends visiting me like those past 2 weeks. And it was their first time in the United States and their first time here in LA, obviously. And I like showed them around, showed them campus, showed them like all of the major signs, but also more like what like life is about when you like live here a little bit longer. Because what most people realize, LA is so big and it takes a while to like kind of figure out what your sweet spots are in the city. There's all different options. If you want to go out every day, you can do that. You can go out every day whenever in the city. If you are big into nature, like the Santa Monica Mountains or the Malibu Mountains are just like half an hour from campus, so you can go on beautiful hikes. Or if you want to go like in the desert or skiing, there's so many different opportunities to do here, and this is like absolutely great. And so circling back to my friends that visited me, they were absolutely stoked. They were like, wow, this is pretty like a paradise to live. But also considering they flew out here from Germany from like the deepest winter, like negative degrees in Celsius, so like freezing temperature at least. So they had a great time, and it was kind of eye-opening to see how good we have it here and how many like different things we can do so close by, and just enjoy the perks of the climate, enjoy the perks of the big international city that LA is.
Thank you for that, Chris. Yeah, I mean, being in Los Angeles, you have, of course, so many different opportunities to go either hiking or go to the beach or go to the mountains. There's always different things to do here. And then even further in talking about the industries within Los Angeles, we have 12 major different types of industries. And speaking around LMU specifically, we have Silicon Beach. There's big engineering companies near us. Of course, there's like different businesses to get involved in. So there's so many different things to experience in LA. And then again, just the location of LMU is really great for students to experience all that. And then my final question for our panelists is going to be, if you had any advice to prospective students that are contemplating applying to LMU, what would that advice be? Thinking back to going through the application process and kind of deciding on where you're going to go. Let's see, Luciana.
That's a hard one. I think first thing is I know how overwhelming the application process can be. First thing would be just relax. It will work. Just maybe try to put your head like and say, okay, this is what I want to apply to, and then just go one by one, and it will work. I just have to be calm, I guess. And in terms of preparation, like if you get to apply to LMU and go to an application, make sure that you go through the curriculum of the major you're applying to. Look for some interesting facts about your course, not just because you can be asked this, but you can ask anything that you want to your advisor, or I don't know, whoever is helping you with the process. well, it's a hard one, but go with your maybe go with your feeling too. When I chose LMU, as I said, it was a very I resonate with everything that LMU had. So like the mission and the sense of community, as I said. So try to look for something that resonates with you, because this is gonna be like the next 2 years or so of your life.
Thank you for that, Luciana. Denise, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I can go. I know applying can be so overwhelming. So what works for me is making a list. And also just ask questions if you have them. Like anything at all. Graduate admission staff are very friendly and are quick to communicate. And so if you have any questions at all, you can call or send an email at graduateadmission@lmu.edu. And also don't worry about like the transcript evaluation. I know those things and process can be so tedious. Mine, I think I got mine for like after a month of applying. And so I know it can cause like a panic at some point if you haven't processed your transcript evaluation yet. But as long as you submit your application, like we can wait for all the other requirements. So don't worry about it. And yeah, just listen to your gut, whatever you feel that is best for you. Yeah, and LMU is always willing to support you.
Thank you for that. Let's see. It looks like we may have lost Chris for a second, but thank you all so much for joining us today. If you do have any questions, like Denise mentioned, please feel free to reach out to graduateadmission@lmu.edu. We could even put that in the chat as well. So if you need that, thank you, Emily, for that. But if you have any questions, like I said, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you again for taking your time out of your night to join us. And I hope you enjoyed this panel. Have a good night.
Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you,
Good night.
everyone. Bye.